format and freedoms. So, yeah, I can sit down and blog all day long, and I wouldn't get anything across.
Home gardeners are big bloggers.
Right, home gardeners are, but on the ag side, not necessarily, so it depends who your audience is.
Yeah, well, again, everything is going to come down to, understanding your audience and then using the tools. We're just kind of talking about some of the tools, but the tools that are appropriate. I know at the University of Florida, we just launched a website and a blog. It's called Solutions for Your Life, that talks about gardening and lawn care and all kinds of different things.
890 blogs.
How many? 890. Okay. And are any of the people in this room represented in those blogs? Again, just pointing it out. It's worth looking at. It's something to really consider. Because today, more and more people are using a computer. I mean, I don't even get a newspaper at home anymore. I read my newspaper on the computer when I get up, because I get up before the newspaper gets there. But, if it's 4:30 or 5, I'm ready to read the news. And there are more and more people that do not even look at the daily newspaper. And the same kind of thing with news on television. So, use the computer, use the tools that are available. And there are a lot of other ways that you can get your messages out there to the media, through the internet. There's a really simple syndication, RSS, which is a way that you take a press release and you put a little code of programming on it, and it automatically sends it to people that are interested in integrated pest management or proper fertilization techniques or proper pesticide applications. And I think you'd be surprised at how many people are interested in that kind of information. And it doesn't require any computer knowledge. There are sites that you can go to and just Google RSS feeds, and literally you just click and drag to your press release, put it on the bottom, and every time you do another release, if you've got that RSS tag, everybody in the marketplace that is interested in your topic and has told their computer that I want you to pull in all this information about lawn care, it'll show up. So again, it's probably at the very early stages with the industry, but it's really a great way to get your message out. So keys to success: think like the audience, because you're right. For agricultural uses, a blog may not make any sense at all because the people don't have time to go out there. But for the master gardener and the people that are really into gardening, it may be a tremendous way to do that. So think like your audience, whether they're consumers, whether they're reporters, legislators, community leaders. You can get in their heads and then know what makes news. Yes.
I actually just wanted to comment on the blog. I'm with the University of Delaware Cooperative Extension, and we have a publication for our industry called Ornamentals Hotline. And just about 2 weeks ago, we decided to start a blog to supplement with photographs, because the industry was telling us, well, you're talking about this particular weed, but what does it look like? So the blog is simply photographs, and that's it. So that if they do have the time and the interest, they can go to the site and look at the pictures.
Yep.
So there are different ways of using it where it doesn't have to be so interactive, and you don't have to have someone, moderating it. So it's nice. So in about a year, I can tell you how it worked out.
And again, you can monitor it and see how many people are going there. So again, consider what makes news: change, controversy, and kind of the buzz. I would think that when you saw the Wall Street Journal piece on organic gardening, there was a great opportunity for the entire industry to not only talk about organic gardening, but to talk about lawn care in general, healthy lawn, how it's safer, it's easy. I don't know what the story would be, but because that story was in the Wall Street Journal, it's now kind of got a buzz about it. And look for opportunities like that to get out there with your story. Relevance is really key. I think we all know about all these, the spring stories here, tips for the green lawn, or 10 things to do. I think 10 things to do is probably 7 things too many when it comes to creating a story. But they're the kind of things that that people like. We had a presenter yesterday talk about statistics, and even though you can do whatever you want with statistics, they can be very powerful story opportunities if you can provide statistical data about the effect a procedure or process has on the watershed or the use of a product. That can be very effective. Timeliness, again, news is what's happening now, so think about that. And then the local angle is really critical. Again, let's talk about the Wall Street Journal story. If there was a way to localize that story on, these are some things you can do if you're interested in organic gardening, go to a local paper if you know a local source that's providing that kind of information, or if you're the expert and you're local, it's a local story. Because as all politics is local, so is all news. So public relations can really help your organization, but you've got to understand your mission, your goals, who your key audiences are. You've got to really understand, too, what your message is. Don't just sit down and write a press release about a study or a finding. You've got to give it some serious thought and develop those key messages. And should I keep going or should we break for lunch? Let me go through this real quickly and then we'll break for lunch. I'm a real believer that, it sounds horrible, but you need to dumb it down as much as possible because you're trying to reach such a broad market. And I don't mean the story needs to be that, but your outreach to the media, your headline needs to be really basic, needs to be clear, concise, and easy to understand. We could all talk about, again, what was the headline in the Wall Street Journal? Grass warfare. There's an example where the media, has taken that combative approach to a story, but, it just really got their attention. But if you go through that story, you find some real good key message points that were brought out, and they were all created, I believe, through a real simple process. Think about first, what's at issue here? What is at issue with organic gardening? What's at stake? So the issue is whether or not to adopt organic gardening techniques. What's at stake? Well, we can talk about a lot of things. It might be, if we don't think more proactively about organic gardening and just proper use in general, we may contaminate the watershed. So, your public health is at stake, and then who gets hurt by the action or the inaction? It's really a pretty straightforward process, but one that you have to sit down and really think through. And I believe, again, in simplicity, in having 1 to 3 key messages. So here's an example of, just kind of a format that we use at the University of Florida. Is on the left, in the top left, we have our primary key message point. Right below it, you have your supporting information. And then on the right are the reinforcement messages. So primary message point, supporting information. So the supporting information is you focus on a few key messages to have more effective communications. Well, why is that? Because people are bombarded by thousands of messages a day, 3,500, right? So only the most compelling and easy to remember messages are going to be remembered, and they're going to start cutting through the chaff. And it helps you prepare for your discussion. Here's that. I took these out of the Wall Street Journal story. Integrated pest management seeks to establish a balanced, healthy environment. And it was actually more of a green gardening helps balance, establish the environment. Why? Well, requires few interventions for pest management. This was one of the messages, not all of them. Natural enemies are encouraged to thrive, favors microbial diversity and deep rooting of grass, boosts the plant's resistance to disease and insects, and it boosts the drought tolerance. That's a really good key message, and you can build an entire story with that key message